Hi, welcome to Draw Tip Tuesday. My name is Koosje Koenen. I love drawing and that's why I have this channel here where I share the learnings on my creative path and hopefully what I learn can teach you something too, or at least inspire you on your creative journey. A couple weeks ago we did a little bit of urban sketching online by going on a virtual trip to Malta, and today I want to do more urban sketching. Also, we'll do it from our home, this time using the website windowswap.com. And on this website, people from all over the world can submit the view from their window. So you watch the video looking out their window. It's like you visit them and then sit and enjoy the view and draw it. So we'll do that today. We'll find a nice view and draw that together. I'd like to encourage you to keep it simple when it comes to your materials, because that will make things a little bit simpler for our urban sketch today. So let's navigate to windowswap.com. You can simply use the button that says open a window anywhere in the world. There you go, you'll have a window. And then from there you can just use the button that's on the bottom of the screen, which says open a window somewhere in the world. And then it opens a new window and you will see windows Turkey, in the UK, in Italy, in the US, Japan, in Norway, anywhere in the world. And it's serving you random windows. So you can click through it until you find something that you would like to draw. And then just leave that window open and start drawing. One thing that's really good to know is that the videos are about 10 minutes long. So after 10 minutes, the website will give you the next window somewhere in the world. If you don't want that, you can use the loop on button that is on the right hand side in the corner. And that way you know that you have limitless time to look out of this window and to draw. If you like the website, then click on the Buy Us a Coffee link so that you can support the makers. You could also subscribe for a small fee every month, and then you can save favorite windows, and there's probably all kinds of other perks I don't exactly know. So I found my window. It's in Edinburgh in Scotland, and I love this frontal view and the repetition of the windows, but especially the chimneys. So I think that's what I start with. The rooftops with the chimneys. And I am using a very simple marker. It's one of those Edding markers that is not even an official drawing tool, but I like the thickness of it, and I think it will help me to not go into any details, but just have a bold line and work fairly quickly. But of course, you can use whichever tool you want. I just felt like something a little bit bold and blunt. So what I'm doing right now is just really looking at the edge of the rooftop and all the chimneys on top. And I started at the left-hand side of my sketchbook, also starting at the left-hand side of the view, but I'm not going to draw the whole thing. I will just see what will fit on my pages. And I'm trying not to be too literal. It's not necessary to be counting the chimneys to describe the chimneys. And I think that is important when you're out urban sketching. You don't need to count the windows. It's okay if you're drawing a building which has 5 floors and you can only fit in 4. Who's gonna know? It's okay. It's really about your interpretation of the place rather than trying to perfectly capture your view, because then maybe you should just take a picture. The fun thing about drawing is that your drawing will be your interpretation. And so if we would sit side by side drawing this same view, we will have 2 completely different drawings, because you see different things than I. You want to emphasize on different things than I. Even if you do it unconsciously, you will be choosing your colors in a different way. You will be choosing the way you put your line down in a different way. You will probably have a different tool to draw with. You might choose to spend time to draw all the shingles or all the bricks, while I am exploring line and how to sort of get everything together in a way that feels consistent and that feels a little bit logical. And I think it's important that you're not rushing. It's okay to work quickly, but I think it's only okay if you feel confident enough to do so. I would not want to work any quicker than this because I would totally mess up my proportions and I would get confused about which chimney is where and where my landmarks are and all of that. So I try to take it slow and I try to abbreviate as well so that I don't get caught in the details. Again, my tool helps with that, but also I don't need to draw all the shingles because I think it's clear that this roof is a roof. But I do like the repetition of all the pipes, and so I try to add those in a way that makes sense and in a way that I actually can with my blunt tool. Even though I told you to take your time, I am speeding up this video because otherwise this will take too long to watch and I want you to have time to draw. I think it's very characteristic for this building that there are bricks and they are different colors and different shapes, but I don't want to actually draw bricks really because that would feel a little bit too literal, and also with this tool it's just kind of impossible to do that in a delicate way. So I am adding texture. I'm making marks. And those marks indicate that there's brickwork going on without drawing every single brick. It's also a way to procrastinate a little bit on drawing the windows because, to be honest, it's kind of scary to draw those windows in and to decide whether you want to outline them or whether you want to use the contrast and just color the dark bits. But I'll just go for it. And once I have drawn the first one, I have a landmark, I have a way to draw the next one, and it becomes a little bit less scary and a little bit easier. And so from here on, I can go on adding windows. And as I work my way through the drawing, I keep noticing drain pipes that I hadn't seen in the first place. And that's the great thing about drawing. You really start looking, and when you look, you really start seeing. And it also makes you very mindful of where you are. It makes you stop in the moment, and I love that. Again, for the windows, I am looking at contrast because there's quite a few dark windows in there, and I'm just translating that onto the paper. And I think this is actually already a really fun drawing, and I don't really think I need to add much more. So I'm done with my line work and I want to add color because it feels a little bit flat right now, and I think color can really bring in a lot of life and change a lot in your drawing. So because the brickwork seems important for this type of architecture, I'm making marks with my watercolor to describe the brickwork. And I really enjoy the mark making. Rather than doing washes, I keep on going with mark making also for the roof. And then all I want to add is the sky, which is a little bit cloudy. So I'm using the same gray that I mixed with Van Dyke Brown and indigo, blue indigo, and add a little bit of indigo so that my color palette feels consistent and it's all in the same family. And that makes it feel balanced and done. That was fun. Doing this drawing took me about 20 minutes, let's say 30 minutes altogether, grabbing my sketchbook, finding my marker, finding the right window to look through, and then sitting down to draw. So really, you only need 30 minutes for a complete drawing. You don't need half a day. Some people think they need like a studio space and very complicated equipment to draw. You only need a pen, maybe even just a marker, paper to draw on. Well, a sketchbook would be fun, and a little bit of time. If drawing makes you happy, then make time for it. You don't need a lot of time, but just do it. Try doing it regularly because the consistency will keep you going as well. It will take a little bit to get consistent, but once you have that consistency going, you will keep up the habit and you will keep growing and developing your style, which is so much fun and so encouraging. So go and draw right away and do it again tomorrow and the day after and the day after, and I will see you next week. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because, well, then you don't miss out on the next tip next week. You can support me to keep making these videos for free on YouTube every week. I will put a link to my Patreon page below in the video description. And don't forget to buy my book. I haven't mentioned it in a while because there's just so many things to mention, but Life is Better When You Draw It will give you that nudge to keep on going and to draw everything and anything around you, and to remind you that everything is interesting when you draw it. Link is below the video. And also, just so you know, there are just a few tickets left for my Malta vacation workshop. So stick around to watch a video about that, and I will see you next week. Bye! Hi, I'm Koosje Koenen, and I would like to invite you to my vacation workshop in Valletta, Malta. It'll take place this November 4 to 8 in 2023. Malta is a beautiful island just off the coast of Italy, and we'll have so much fun sketching it together. There are so many temples and gardens and churches and archaeological ruins and beautiful sites that we can all sketch. And I really hope that you will go with me on this sketching adventure. For more information, go to studio56boutique.com and then go to the pull-down menu that says Travel Workshops. You'll find everything you need. I hope to see you in Malta.